Hello guys, in this video I'm going to teach you about operator overloading in C++. So we all know that C++ has some operators which we can use to perform some algorithmic task, or you can perform some comparison task from these operators. So for example, we have some of these kind of operator which you can see here. So we have this plus operator, equal to operator, minus or asterisk, or this backslash, percentage, and we also have these comparison operators in C++. And by these operator we can use these operator to for example, we can use this plus operator to add two integer values or two double values or two float values, right? So we can use it like this. We have two integer, for example x and y. We can use this plus operator to add these x and y and store it into this z variable. And this is also a equal to operator, and equal to operator we use it for assigning the value. So these are the some of the inherent properties of these operators. So C++ has defined that we can use plus to add two values or equal to assign the values. But for example, we have some values, or we have some object which we want to add, for example. So for example, I have this class called vector, and I want to add the two object of this class. Okay, so I will define two vectors like this: vector1, which has object vec1, and second class object vec2, and I want to add these vec1 and vec2 and assign it in the third vector called vec3. Is it possible using C++? Well, when I compile it and when I see it, it will give me an error, because C++ doesn't know that there is a class called vector. So C++ libraries doesn't have these kind this class is user defined class, right? So it doesn't know if we use plus, it has to add these two object of the class. Okay, so we can use a concept called operator overloading, and it's same as method overloading. What is method overloading? We can define two functions of same name, and these two functions can perform two different tasks, but they can have the same name, and this is called function overloading. In the same way, we can use operator overloading to perform the same or perform two different tasks from a same operator. For example, I want to add these two objects. I can do this whenever I I define a operator which can be overloaded. So let's see how we can do this. So for example, I want to add two vector values which are the Cartesian values, and I will give you an example. So for example, I want to add these two Cartesian values, for example 4 comma 2 and 2 comma 2. I can do it in mathematics. It's done by like this. So 4 plus 2, which is 4, plus 2 is equal to 6, right? And this y 2 plus 2, here 2 plus 2 is equal to 4. So I want to add these two Cartesian value using a class, and I want to use plus operator for that, and I want the result like this. Can we do this? Let's see if we can do this by operator overloading. We can certainly do that by operator overloading. So let's see. I have defined this class called vector. It has two public member variable which are integer x and y, and I have this default constructor which doesn't take any values in it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I am going to define one more constructor. So I will overload this constructor. So this is the default constructor, and I will overload this constructor This is the same concept as function overloading, right? So we can use the same constructor of same name to perform two different tasks. And I can write int a comma int b. So what it's doing, it is I am initializing this vector constructor by two values a and b, and these two a and b, the value of a and b, I will assign to x and y. So x is equal to a and y is equal to b. Okay, so this is simply doing this. Okay, and now how we can define operator overloading. So whenever you want to define operator overloading, what you need to do is, first of all, you need to make a prototype of this. And operator overloading returns, when you define operator overloading, it returns the same class as your class. So we are in vector class, so it will return operator vector, right? And then we specify that we want to do operator overloading by the keyword called operator, and then just after this operator keyword, we need to give the operator from for which you want to operate overload this. So for example, we want to overload plus operator. Okay, and we want to add these two Cartesian values with this plus operator. So I will use plus. You can use some other operators like minus here, or this percentage here, or any other operator which you can see here, or any other operator which exists in C++. You can use all these operators instead of this plus, which I'm using in this case. Okay, and then I will pass argument here, which will be the class. Okay, so I will write const and the class object. So I will just copy the name of the class, and I will use this address of the class. Okay, so this is the prototype of operator. So we want to overload plus, right? Now in order to define or write the source for this operator, what we can do, we can just we also need, okay, we can just copy this prototype from here, and just outside your class we can define this here, right? So I will just copy this and paste it here, and I will write definition of this function or operator. Okay, and because I've already told you in the last video, we need to give the scope for this operator, right? So we need to give this class of the operator in which class exists, and then these two double colon which are scope resolution operators, right? So now you know that this, by seeing this vector colon colon, you know that this operator is a part of this class, which is a vector class. Okay, now we can write the definition of in this vector function. So I will copy this same class here, and I will name it as temp. So I created a temp object of this class, and what I want to do, I want to do the addition of the two vectors using this. So I will use temp dot x, this one, which is a member variable of the class, is equal to x plus temp or param, which I have to pass here, p-a-r-a-m-e-t-r, parameter. Okay, so which whatever parameter we will pass, which will be object or an object of this vector, we can use it like this. dot x. Okay, so what this is doing, this is also an object of class vector, and this is also an object of class vector, right? And whatever we pass here, we want to add it to our temporary object, which is this one. Okay, similarly I want to do the same for the y variable, y member variable. So I will do y, y and y, because we have two coordinates, right? And what I want to do next, because this is expecting the vector object return, I will return this temp like this. So return temp like this. Okay, so what this code will do, it will just add the parameter which you pass here to the temp, and it will return. Okay, and this operator will addition operator will be overloaded by this one. Okay, now how to use this in the class? So in the same way, I can define two objects of a vector class. So vec1, and I'm going to use this constructor which takes two integer values. Okay, so I will pass two integer values. I will pass first coordinate here, so 4 comma 2 here. Okay, 4 comma 2. So I will pass 4 comma 2, and I will make second vector, and I will pass my second value here, so vector 2, and my second value is 2 comma 2, for example, right? And I can add these two values in a third vector. So I will say vector result, and I can add these two vectors like this. Result is equal to vec1 plus vec2. Okay, and this will now not give you an error, because we already told our C++ libraries that there exists a plus operator which is able to add two classes or two objects of the class vector. Okay, now we can display the result, for example, like this. See out, and how we want to display the result. Let's see. See out, and we can say in double quotes the result is, and in the bracket we want to give first of all the x. So I will say result dot x. Okay, and then I want to give the comma, so I will give this once again, and double quotes I will say comma, and then the value of y. Okay, so result dot y. Okay, so now result dot x and result dot y will contain the addition of these two, 6 comma 4 in our case. Okay, and then once again I will use this bracket to close it, and I will use end L to end the line. And first of all, we forgot this. Okay, so now this will show the result like this. Let's try to compile and check whether it's okay or not. So this is showing the error. Let's see what's the error is. Okay, so this spelling of const is wrong. It should be like this. I will explain you what this const mean, what is the I mean purpose of using this const, but for now just uh, take it as it is. Okay, I will now recompile my program once again, and yeah, same spelling once again. Okay, so our program runs successfully or compiled successfully, and let's try to run this. And you see the result is 6 comma 4. So we have successfully added two vector object using this plus operator in C++. Okay, so in the same way you can subtract, or you can use all the operators which you have in C++ to overload. You can overload equal to or double equal to or asterisk or whatever we have in C++, we can overload. Okay, so I hope you have understood the basic concept of operator overloading, and I hope you have enjoyed this video. Please rate, comment and subscribe, and bye for now.